So this is a news story that came out of nowhere. Magic Johnson is stepping down as the president of basketball operations for the Lakers. And the first question I have is, what's going to happen to Rob Pelinka now? Because it seems like those two were a bit of a dynamic duo, or a disastrous duo, really, for this Lakers team, because outside of getting LeBron James, they made a bunch of bad moves, right? Signing Lance Stevenson and JaVale, even if he had some moments to open up the year, Beasley, and trading away Zubac and letting Brook Lopez walk. Even if we didn't know that Lopez was going to become the Klay Thompson of centers, he was already effective with his spacing even before this season, so letting him go was pretty silly. And it was just weird because anybody with half a basketball brain knows that shooting around LeBron works, especially when you already have Lonzo and Ingram on your roster, two guys who are not floor spacers. I can also include the KCP contract into all of this. So the first thing is, who takes over as president of basketball operations, right? I've heard that Jesse Buss is the real basketball mind of the family. He's been running the draft for them since 2013, and they've had a lot of pretty good picks. He selected Julius Randle, who, funny enough, is starting to really pop when he's not on the Lakers. He convinced them to buy a pick from the Wizards, which became Jordan Clarkson. And even if Clarkson has turned out to be a little disappointing of a player, there was certainly some excitement there, and getting him with the 46th pick I think is impressive enough. He's also selected Larry Nance Jr., Kuzma, Josh Hart. I mean, this guy has taken enough real players to where it's safe to say, yeah, he has more of a brain for this than the other people in the Buss family. I mean, Jim Buss was a moron. Jeannie Buss does not know what she's talking about when it comes to basketball. She's admitted this herself. So getting Jesse in there probably makes the most sense if we're going to keep the Buss family still in power. As far as the general manager position, I mean, I would hope that if Jesse Buss knows the draft, then he knows who's smart and who isn't smart around the league. And I'd feel comfortable with him making a decision about who should be making the moves and who should be communicating with the president to determine who the hell is going to be actually on this team, because the previous regime, assuming that Pelinka's out, screwed up the last offseason, so you don't have time to mess it up again. David Griffin's name is probably going to be out there. It's an idea, certainly. Another thing that Magic and Pelinka and whoever else screwed up was the Anthony Davis situation, where, I mean, I don't know if they should be blamed completely for all the leaks that were going out. Maybe they should be, maybe they shouldn't be, I really don't know. But that whole media circus around that was really bizarre, and it did seem like Magic and Pelinka were kind of just throwing offers at the wall and hoping that the Pelicans would take one, which is not how you negotiate, so there was all that. And I think this comes to the idea that Magic didn't totally give a crap about being the president of this team. I think he liked the idea of it more so than actually doing it and showing up day to day and looking at cap sheets and scouting and basically doing all the boring stuff. Now sure, some of that gets passed on to the GM and the assistant GM and all that, but if you're going to put yourself in this role and you're going to show up on talk shows and mention little things to Paul George and whoever else, and there was a quote back when he was like, if I can't lure star players to LA, then I'm not doing my job. It's more to it than just that, man. You can't just show up to a room and be like, hey, I'm Magic Johnson, and then end up with 3 All-Stars on your team. I mean, the only other president I can think of who has that energy is Pat Riley. The difference is, I think Pat Riley proved as a coach that he's willing to do the day-to-day work, and even as he's older, I mean, he's made the Miami Heat kind of a well-oiled machine, right? With Spoelstra coming up through the ranks and their current general manager, Andy Ellisberg, he's been in the Heat organization for a really long time as well, so yeah, Pat Riley has earned the right to be like, I'm Pat Riley, now please sign with us. Also, I think the fact that Magic decided to do this rather than have conversations and all that with the people around him kind of shows that he's not the right guy to be in a front office. I mean, I'm seeing reports now of him not really telling people that he was going to do this, and he didn't even have the guts to go to Jeannie Buss about this face-to-face. I mean, doesn't sound like a guy that I really want in my front office. Now we get to Luke Walton. I think Luke is fine. I don't think he's one of those coaches, as of right now, that's going to make your team a lot better, but I don't think he's going to kill you either. Sure, there are some criticisms you can throw at him, but you can say that about every coach. The thing that I like about Luke is that the Lakers' defense has been legit for a couple years now, even with the roster changing so much. I mean, Basketball Reference has them as the 13th best defensive team this year, and last year they were 12th. And that's with, again, a lot of moving parts, so that's a good sign. And as far as why their offense has been bad, I mean, part of it, of course, is injuries. I mean, if LeBron and Ingram and Lonzo put in full seasons, and if this team just had actual shooting, then I'm going to bet you that the offense would be a lot better. So then it really just comes down to, does LeBron respect Luke, and is Luke not afraid to get in LeBron's face? And that is a different conversation that I don't really know the answer to. And depending on whether that's a yes or a no, then I guess that could be the thing that determines whether Luke is here. But I don't think Luke sucks, but you could certainly talk me into there being better options out there. So I think that's what I've got on this whole Magic stepping down thing. I think this is good for the Lakers. They lost a bad employee, and they're probably going to lose another one, so addition by subtraction, really. And then assuming that they do a good job of replacing those two with guys who really know what they're doing, then this is probably going to end up working out for them.